Are you facing pitfalls every day on your financial investments? I'm going to help you avoid these mistakes that you're making so you can live your life accordingly. Now, doesn't that sound great? Now let's all find out what are these common financial investing mistakes. And of course, I'm going to give you what you need for you to avoid them. The first mistake that you do is failing to set financial goals. Saving gives your money structure. We can create and order goals that will affect our ability to succeed financially, both now and in the future. Without monetary objectives, our aspirations stay unfulfilled and out of grasp. Long-term financial goals include saving for a down payment or a retirement account, while short-term goals include building up an emergency fund or purchasing a laptop. Choose whatever aim you choose. So how can you avoid it? Have a plan for establishing and achieving financial objectives. Sift out your spending so that you can apply any spare money to a project. Keep going after achieving one goal and moving on to the next. Moving on to the next mistake, relying on your parents. For sure, some of you are still relying on your parents, right? Tell us in the comments below. It's unsafe and irresponsible to fall behind on your rent because you spend your money on social activities. That's not to imply it's a negative thing to have parents who are willing to lend a hand when you're struggling financially. In reality, having a support network is essential during trying times, but be mindful not to abuse anyone's generosity or financial resources. Having a stable financial future is a necessary component of adulthood. Don't assume your parents will help you out of a financial predicament you caused yourself. The same is true of other kinds of connections, like those with friends or partners. Remove money as a factor to maintain your connections. Young adults like you should have a solid financial foundation so they won't need to borrow money from others. If a sudden financial problem arises, be sure the loan request is one-time or temporary. How can you avoid it? Eliminate reliance on money. No matter where you reside, start with being independent. Make your food. Clean up your messes, do your laundry. Apply such abilities to your financial routines. Make a budget, handle your billing, and rely on your funds for unplanned expenses. The third mistake you should avoid is taking on credit card debt. Due to interest and fees, having credit cards that are maxed out is one of the greatest financial loads you can have. Credit card companies bombard young people like you with offers for credit cards for a reason. Young adults are frequently seduced by claims of discounted rates, free trials, and other benefits. Unfortunately, a lot of people lack the financial maturity needed to manage credit. A cycle of large balances and minimum payments characterizes credit card debt. Your credit score can suffer from credit abuse, and it might take years to recover. How can you avoid it? As a general guideline, just simply avoid using credit until you can pay it off completely each month. The fourth one is spending more than you earn. Spending excessively on luxuries like clothing, trips, and electronics might be alluring. You might be forced to choose high-interest options if your wage is insufficient to pay for those non-essentials. Learning to live within your means is a fundamental lesson in financial literacy. Stop exceeding your income with your spending. In general, income should exceed expenses. If it doesn't, then stop spending too much and revamp your spending plan. How can you avoid it? Live within your means to avoid getting into debt. Limit new purchases, borrow, and compare shops. Above all, avoid using expensive objects to fill voids. Possessive spending behaviors can be prevented from the beginning by learning to be appreciative of what you already have. The fifth one is not contributing to a retirement plan. 20-somethings are missing out if they don't contribute to an IRA or a business 401k. Be mindful that time is on your side. Compound interest works in your favor when you start saving for retirement in your 20s. By the time you reach age 66, at which point you become eligible for full retirement benefits, early contributions will have increased significantly. Young adults may also be passing up business money in addition to missing out on the beauty of compound interest. That's accurate. Many businesses match employees' retirement contributions up to a specified amount, usually 6%. Workers who choose to open a 401k plan and make a predetermined contribution may be eligible to earn a bonus contribution from their employer. That's free cash. That might result in tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars more throughout a lifetime. How can you avoid it? Seek financial experts who will advise you in investing at least 15% of your salary toward retirement. Take advantage of the full benefit if your employer provides a matching contribution. The next mistake you do is forgoing insurance. Think having insurance is useless if you're a responsible, healthy 20-something? Well, try to reconsider your position. Young people like you aren't immune to danger. When you're dealing with a debt due to a medical emergency or property damage, it's crucial to understand that sooner rather than later. Several types of insurance are available to shield consumers from the worst-case situation. A program called insurance enables policyholders to safeguard themselves from catastrophe. Your monthly contribution is pooled together and paid in. The pool covers a person's expenses in the event of adversity, such as injury, illness, property damage, or death. Before a necessity, insurance should be acquired. It's always better to be safe than sorry. If you don't have insurance, you might have to spend all of your funds or turn a high-interest credit to pay your bills. How can you avoid it? Decide on your insurance coverage. Pay a modest monthly fee rather than a huge expense in case of an emergency. Get all your bases covered, including life, disability, health, dental, and vision insurance, as well as renters or homeowners insurance. The next mistake is living in a place that's too expensive. Young adults appreciate living in large cities, right? Why wouldn't they? Cities are constantly alive with cultural activities, a thriving nightlife, and a high concentration of other young people. Yet there is a price for all of that activity. Cities are costly. Just consider Los Angeles or New York City. One paycheck can be required to rent a small, expensive apartment. A smaller city, a suburb, or even a rural location shouldn't be completely disregarded by you. The cost of living in a big city is high. Imagine using that money somewhere else, repaying student loan debt, creating an emergency savings account, constructing investments. Take note, when your home isn't your biggest expense, there are countless opportunities. How can you avoid it? Compare the cost of living in several occasions before deciding where to pursue your postgraduate studies. Don't discount less expensive small towns and big cities. After you're past your 20s, you could start to appreciate the less expensive lifestyle in a small town. Next up is buying a brand new car. Young adults in their 20s are eager to reach anticipated financial milestones, like getting their first car. They'd say or do anything to support getting a brand new car. Go for it if your finances will allow it. Nonetheless, the majority of 20-somethings will forgo saving money or making debt payments to finance an automobile. When reality sets in, you'll understand that their gleaming new model, without the upgrades and add-ons, is just as functional as the more affordable model. Buying a car is a significant financial decision, and as such, it should be handled accordingly. How can you avoid it? Seldom are expensive new cars profitable investments. Instead, choose an affordable, dependable used car. Go through automobile lots and internet auto marketplaces, and try word-of-mouth auto sales. Another mistake is pursuing an advanced degree without a plan. Higher education requires a major time and financial commitment. Beyond an undergraduate degree, advanced degrees don't always translate into greater pay or employment. If you're interested in a job in finance, a master's degree in gender studies might sound fascinating, but it probably won't be a good investment. The fields of engineering, computer science, healthcare, and technology offer some of the greatest master's degrees for careers. In contrast, fields like English and history have the worst returns on investment. Education is a success no matter what, but it does necessitate an open discussion about future employment and compensation plans, not to mention the possible increase in student loan debt. How can you avoid it? Young individuals who are thinking about going to college should provide answers to certain crucial questions. Are graduates of your desired degree program in demand? Do the salary and career prospects match your objectives? If you can't justify the degree, think about other options. Another one is not starting to save. early saving is important. The future appears so far away to many young people that they find it difficult to begin saving. In reality, starting a savings account as soon as feasible is the best way to ensure your financial future. This is primarily because compound interest has positive effects. Interest on interest is known as compound interest. It promotes financial growth, but only after a while. Compound interest will be reaped by setting money aside in an emergency fund, which will also serve as a safety net in case of unforeseen costs. The following are the kinds of unforeseen expenses for which you should plan: unemployment, healthcare, dental or vision costs, auto repair, home improvement, replacement of electronics, and taxes. How can you avoid it? Set aside enough cash to pay for costs for 3 to 6 months. In the event of an unexpected expense, an emergency fund can be helpful. Start small and steadily build up your safety net, whether it's an emergency fund or a regular savings account. Another one is never learning to budget. Many 20-somethings associate budgeting with having enough cash on hand to cover expenses. This includes making your rent payments on time, going out on the town, and avoiding overdrafts. You'll come to understand that as you become older, that money needs to work hard outside of happy hours. Where does your labor-intensive cash go? How are you making future preparations? If you're unable to respond to these questions, it's time to face reality. You can achieve that by using a budget. It'll keep track of your requirements and wants while highlighting the luxuries you buy daily. Start keeping track of how money is allocated between expenses, loans, and savings so that you may start thinking ahead rather than just focusing on the here and now. How can you avoid it? By analyzing your income and expenses, create a budget. Revenue should be greater than expenses, including debt repayment, savings contributions, and future investment. If it doesn't, reduce the non-essentials in your budget. Make sure to avoid these common financial investing mistakes so you can enjoy your 20s with no worries. Don't forget to click that subscribe button, ring that notification bell, hit the like, and share this video with your money and business-minded friends. Until next time,